So, our agenda for today will be first,
we are going to talk about the general context about the peace agreement.
then the intervention of Europe,
then the intervention of USA,
and then the whole role that the United Nations and the Security Council helped in this process.
Las FARC means Fuerzas Revolucionarias Armadas de Colombia. The US and the European Union list them as a terrorist group. The conflict between the government and Las FARC has been the longest in Latin America, covering 50 years. In that time, over 1 million people have been killed and millions displaced. According to the United Nations, Las FARC make up to $600 million per year in profits from drug trafficking, kidnapping, extortion, and unofficial taxes called vacunas. Because of this, they were considered the third wealthiest terrorist group in the world. In 2009, U.S. reports say that Las FARC controlled 60% of the cocaine supply to the USA. After 4 years of negotiation between the government and Las FARC, they made a final agreement, but the Colombians have to approve it in a plebiscite. The Colombians voted no to the agreement, so the government, Las FARC, and the negotiation team had to make changes to the agreement. After this, they finalized the peace treaty. Nowadays, Las FARC already started disarming, stop drug trafficking, kidnapping, and extortions.
For more than a decade, the European Union and member states' support to Colombia has focused on root causes and consequences of the conflict. During 15 years of collaboration, the European Union has gained legitimacy, recognition, and the trust of the Colombian people. Together with the European Union member states, the European Union has invested $1.5 billion in peace-building activities. During the European Union Select Summit of 2015, the European Union and its member states confirmed at the highest level their willingness to set up a trust fund in support of the peace process in Colombia. It will enable the European Union to contribute to the implementation of the peace agreement effectively and in a coordinated way. The signature of constitutive agreement of the European Union Trust Fund for Colombia took place on Monday, 12 December 2016, in presence of the European Union High Representative and Colombian President. The European Union Trust Fund is said to have close to $95 million at its disposal from the European Union budget and from contribution of the 19 European Union member states. Additional contributions could be made in the future.
During the course of the past 15 years, across 3 administrations in both Colombia and the US, the two countries have worked hand to hand to tackle the most significant security challenge facing the Americas. Colombia received billions of dollars from the US through a project called Plan Colombia, which was created under the government of Andrés Pastrana and Bill Clinton to combat narcotrafficking, and that's why we achieved many goals: reduction of coca cultivation, drug production, drug trafficking, and kidnappings. Nowadays, Colombia is passing through a post-conflict in which the victims and the society will be repaired. The US are supporting this process, and the actual president, Donald Trump, continues providing support. In addition, Colombia is not a priority issue for Trump. For instance, the foreign policy advisors such as Senator Jeff Sessions and Rudolph Giuliani know the country well and are clear about the support it needs today.
A key factor in this process is the support that the United Nations has given to the country, given that this will also compromise all the member countries to extend their help to Colombia, and also in this way, the peace in Colombia will be an important topic in the different assemblies, giving the country more visibility in the international context. The UN mission in Colombia started in July of 2015, when the parties requested the United Nations to support the work of the Subcommission on End of Conflict Issues. On January of 2016, the Secretary General welcomed the joint communique issued by the Government of Colombia and the FARC-EP, announcing their decision to ask the Security Council to establish a political mission. On 25 January of 2016, the Security Council adopted Resolution 2261 to establish a political mission of unarmed international observers to monitor and verify the laying down of arms. On the 4th of March of 2016, the Secretary General sent a letter to the President of the Security Council on the activities that the UN Secretariat was undertaking to prepare for the deployment of the UN mission in Colombia. The mission consisted of 3 phases. The Phase 1 aims at establishing the mission headquarters in Bogota and assessing conditions at the 8 locations where the mission will have regional offices. Phase 2, the focus will be on getting the mission ready to operate at the local level along with representatives of the government of Colombia. And the Phase 3 is the final phase of the mission and will include the deployment of all United Nations observers and the full operationalization of the tripartite mechanism for monitoring and verification.
En general yo pienso que muy poco. Primero porque independiente de post-conflicto o conflicto, Colombia no es un actor importante del orden internacional, no está en la lista de prioridades de ningún país, ninguna política exterior en términos generales se define por lo que pasa en Colombia. Entonces, en eso no es muy importante. Y la circunstancia del conflicto, o como se quiera llamar, o posconflicto, es un asunto que afecta muy poquito incluso lo interno y menos no tiene ninguna afectación sobre los vecinos. Entonces, el efecto que pueda tener es muy poco. Tal vez Estados Unidos, que es el que más se mete en las relaciones en América Latina, tampoco, porque nosotros no somos una prioridad, no la hemos sido y ahora menos en este gobierno. Colombia es una prioridad en América Latina porque eso se lo lleva a todo México. Entonces realmente es más un asunto interno con los poquitos efectos que pueda tener la firma de ese tratado.
Lo primero es que yo creo que la confianza inversionista de los extranjeros va a estar en un punto alto, o sea, la calificación que ellos van a tener es muy alta porque digamos que el ruido que hay a nivel fuera del país con el tema de las guerrillas y todo este tema de los paramilitares y todo, genera incertidumbre para el inversionista. Entonces yo creo que eso va a haber mucho inversionista interesado en venir al país a querer entrar. Los países también fuera de la parte económica, sino en la parte política, yo creo que también ven con muy buenos ojos ese tema y van a colaborarle mucho a Colombia.